of the tale. I'm Katherine, an American living in China. Over the past couple days, I've been on a wildlife expedition of sorts, recording mythical creatures parading down the streets to bring good fortune and scare off evil spirits. Look at the baby, it's so cute! Today, my husband and I are heading to another area about an hour away, where we'll explore ancient fortresses. There's a coffee shop in the almost abandoned fortress. Encounter friendly locals who show us some off the beaten path sights.
这两个呢，就代表他还在思考之中。
And of course, we'll encounter a bunch more unique mythical creatures wandering through local villages. But first, a quick stop in the city of Lufeng. We had just sat down for lunch when I heard a commotion coming from the alleyways behind the restaurant. And of course, I could not pass up on the chance to see another mythical creature roving around.
他们在拜年吗？对的。哦，每家都去啊？对，每家都开门就去。 So as long as your door is open, the qilin will come and greet you. I think that is so wholesome.
This creature is called a qilin lion, and this one in particular is actually a beggar lion because it's going door to door asking for money, not just giving New Year's greetings. You have to put a hongbao in its basket, and honestly, if this thing showed up at my door, I would also fork over a few bucks. I'm happy to support the art of mythical creatures wandering around.
He skipped the qilin because he wanted his noodles at maximum freshness. So he already finished his noodles, and I have barely even touched mine because I was distracted. You missed out.
Then it was time for us to catch a ride to the neighboring town of Da'an. As we were driving through the villages on the outskirts of the town, I encountered another creature.
Just told the taxi driver to just leave me here. I want to watch the whole performance.
This creature is the rolling on the ground golden dragon. Yes, that's its real name, and you'll see why it's called that in a moment. As with most other mythical creatures in this region, it comes out to scare off evil spirits and bring good fortune. The golden dragon is done rolling for the time being and is going to pay respects to all the local temples and shrines. "以后你们也会做他的腿吗？什么样的人才可以做那个？
看有红色的就是在录，他开始了。
哇哇哇！
哇，不要这么友好。People here don't really like to walk, it seems, because they were like, oh, now you're stranded in this village. Everyone's like, how are you to get there? It's so far. I'm like, bro, it's a 40-minute stroll. Guys, look who's here. Look who walked 40 minutes from the hotel. He loves those spy sunglasses. Oh my gosh.
Up next, we're visiting an ancient fortress that once housed hundreds of local residents. Although this place is almost completely uninhabited in this day and age, it still gets regular visitors who come to leave offerings at its ancestral temple and its various shrines. Some are shrines to local deities, and some are shrines honoring ancestors who once lived in these homes. Tangerines and some sort of bun are the offerings that have been left for the ancestors. And there are tons of firecracker scraps in here, so clearly lots of people are still coming through to keep the evil spirits away. Of course, the big ancestral temple right in the doorway is the star of the show. If any of you guys are curious about the cost to upkeep this beautiful complex here, it's actually right on the wall, literally down to the individual yuan. Every detail is on this poster. This thing costs a lot more to maintain than I would have thought, but they also receive a ton of money in donations, so they aren't actually going over their budget. And this is the donation wall. This little fortress actually has two walls. This is the outer wall, and then there's this buffer zone in between, and then these are actually the walls of people's houses. You might be wondering why a fortress would be built here at all. There are actually quite a few of them scattered throughout this region to help prevent attacks from bandits. Of course, that became irrelevant many decades ago after the Communist Revolution gave all of the bandits their own land and they stopped attacking people, but the fortress is still here. And there are a couple of elderly residents still living in it. Interestingly, because this place does attract a steady stream of curious visitors and locals who come through to pay respects to the temples and shrines, it even has a tiny coffee shop. Y'all, there is one room of this place that is thriving. This little coffee shop. There's a coffee shop. There's a coffee shop in the almost abandoned fortress. Yoke. We could have easily explored all the fascinating nooks and crannies of this place for another 2 hours, but I heard a noise outside. So of course we had to go investigate. Do y'all hear that? Something is brewing out there. Finally found the exit of this fortress, and we can see what is going on out there. Look! Something's happening. We came here at such perfect timing today, y'all. I swear I did not know any of this was happening. This has been completely just like serendipity and good luck the whole day long. That is just how frequent these things are in this part of the country. Think about it. He missed one this morning while we were having our noodles. He bailed on another one at noon, and yet he still gets a chance to see one. There is another one. There it is. It's coming from behind us.
Oh.
Just a few minutes walk away from the previous village, we have encountered 2 more specimens of the rolling on the ground golden dragon. Also, I finally got an answer for why the rolling on the ground golden dragon likes to put its own tail in its mouth. It's actually a form of grooming behavior. And these dragons didn't just groom themselves, they also groomed their partner. Someone's watching from a tree.
there was this very friendly family who started chatting with us. They're back in their hometown. They usually live in Shenzhen, but they're here for the holidays. And they were like, come hang out at our house and we'll show you another village and we can have tea together. And we're like, okay, cool, wholesome afternoon.
As with many people who are from rural areas but live and work in the city, they have two homes, an apartment in Shenzhen and this house on their family's land in the village. They also gave us some local snacks to try. This looks like dried mango, but it's actually dried sweet potato. And this is a slab made out of glutinous rice. It's firm, chewy, and a little bit sweet. Then they took us to another fortress that we hadn't visited yet. This place apparently has 500 years of history. Mr. Huang was actually born and raised in one of these fortress villages, so he made the perfect tour guide.
这是那个什么家族议事的地方，有什么重大事情的哈，就集在这里啊，就说要打仗了，就全部集合在这里了，看到没有？这个大鼓一敲啊，全村就跑出来了，人就跑出来了，出去敌外敌了。
Even though he was born after that era, he still grew up hearing stories about it. And it is hard to forget when the family home happens to be inside of a giant fortress with holes in the wall for guns to be pointed out of.
真的是没人住了，就变成祭拜祖先了。我在过年过节的这个拜祭祖先嘛，这些都是之前的皇帝写的字，康熙皇帝写的，赠送的奉先。失孝，正月15的时候，他们就每家每户就会来拜祭祖先。 啊，他们就说生了小孩了啊，生了男丁了，他们就过来跟祖宗说一下啊，敬一下酒啊，咱们祝贺一下，就这个意思。哦，我跟先人对话，我们不知道他说什么，是吧？那你同意还是不同意？啊，就这个意思。比如说这样子他是同意了，这样就不同意了啊。这两个呢，就代表他还思考之中，就开心的意思，但是还没有同意你。像这个时候，他还没有达到，还没有说到他的意愿。
思考不可以同意。
对，榫卯结构，雕人画栋分布。我们小时候都是每家每户都是亲兄弟啊，都是同个族里面的。逢年过节也要过来放下鞭炮，意义也是一样的，要过来看一下老自己出生的地方嘛，纪念一下嘛。 就是就为了看外面的什么敌情，说跑进来。之前也有那个东西的，也可以有那个棍子啊，有那个可以把它封掉的，给它卡掉。以前土匪多啊，以前没有地嘛，以前都只有地主才有啊。
I hear music. Something is coming. 看看看，下午看的那个他又来了。Guys, it is time for my 4th sighting of a creature today. Check out this flag covered in money. 这个村花了这么多钱，请他们过来是吗？
对，
哦。
然后他等下捡起来，就过其他村了，又换了一个旗，又贴了多少钱？拜拜。你走路没有带你们来，走路走不进来的哦，好远哦。
We are now deep in the mountains. The flowers are blooming, and we're at this beautiful temple. Hey, mommy. We do meet a lot of really friendly people throughout our travels, but I feel like this trip in particular has been really off the chain in that department.
人站着就行，走过来，手不要放开，手放下去，对的，展开就行。对，靠近近就行，看着他就行了。我要发财了！我要拜一下。
I love how they work the natural landscape into the temple architecture. This rock is just hanging out here right in the yard of the temple. 有几个和尚呀？
2个。
2个。他们穿紫色啊。
不，白色啊，或者说黑色啊，都可以的这个。
你们2个1人3只，保佑学习进步啊！
太硬了吧，应该放一个垫子。
这点苦你。
这点苦我都吃不了，对。
哇。
Then we departed from this temple with its purple robes and its TikTok dances and its capitalist propaganda, and we headed into Mother Nature.
We are going on a little tiny hike. We are climbing up this little waterfall. How's that, 宝贝儿？那当时从你们家到这边要多长时间呀？
有30公里对吧？以前有踩单车20多分钟吧，以前有路有土路嘛。
We stopped on the side of the road here to pick up some fresh spring water. Apparently they come here a lot to get water to make tea with because they say this water tastes better than the tap water. So we're out here in the forest picking up some water. 有意思呀，过滤一下。
我们说整个村最高的就是我们家。
每一层都住了不同的兄弟。
对。
你有几个兄弟姐妹来着？9个，7个男的在这里。太有意思了。他们都是常年住在这吗？还是只是回家过年？
只有一个兄弟长期在老家的，不都在深圳。
过年过节他就在一样。
So if you're traveling through rural China, especially the south, and you see these giant houses that seem like people are only actually using the first floor, now you know oftentimes the upper floors are only inhabited by family coming home for the holidays.
Snack time. We were watching some kind of reality TV show with minor celebrities who are so white, they're practically glowing, and we're munching on these.
如果那么白的话，你喜欢吗？
黄眼睛啊，白的像鬼一样呀，他们这个样子。瑞典人都没这么白。
We tried some exotic fruits. We watched some of Journey to the West. I know there is a newer version out nowadays, but let's be real, the original is definitely the one with the most character. And we had a lovely dinner of chicken soup hot pot. Then they dropped us off at our hotel. 40-minute stroll canceled to spend a lovely afternoon with these wonderful, friendly people who shared their beautiful and fascinating hometown with us. And that's not all for this vlog, because the main reason we came to Da'an actually was for the 8 mythical creatures parade that's happening right in the town center. That's right, more creatures. You can never have enough of them.
Final day in Guangdong. We are on our way to one last Chinese New Year event. Front row seats.
All that was actually just the appetizer. Now the entree is beginning.
The 8 creatures are all lined up in the plaza, and take a look at the tiger's tail. That is a deadly weapon. Apparently they used to make it out of a bamboo pole, but it was actually too dangerous because it would like knock you out if it hit you. I don't know what they're using for it now. It looks like a slightly more rubbery material that won't hurt as much as bamboo. Preparing for departure.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. What on earth is this? The kids represent the 8 immortal deities of Taoist folklore, each of which has their own corresponding creature that they ride. It's a celebratory performance with about 1,500 years of history, and it brings the images depicted in local folklore and legends to life.
It is pretty swarmed, but it's not so swarmed that you can't follow the creatures. So at some of these events, there are so many people that they'll actually rope off the sides of the road and you just have to stand there in one spot and watch everything go by. But here, it is crowded. You do have to kind of fight your way through, but you can follow the creatures the entire way. We got caught in the crowd. We got a little bit behind.
Partially to get the crowd out of their way, and partially just for fun, the creatures will charge at people, spin around in circles trying to hit you. It's all part of the atmosphere of the event. Mixed in among the 8 immortals and their cool rides are also some other creatures like these horses, not specifically for Year of the Horse, they come out every year. Their origin was to boost morale during warring periods, but now they're a beloved folk art that is very common in all sorts of celebrations in Guangdong.
The creatures are paying a visit to the government building. Everybody is petting the tiger, so we're getting in on that. 你自己跑过吗？
我小时候做过。
哦，你坐在上面了。什么样的人才可以做这个呀？应该有很多小孩在抢着想要这个。
你如果有熟人的话，可能会更容易做一点。又或者你先
靠关系呗，是吧？
对，可以靠关系。
但是你没有跑过，你没有当过他的腿儿。
没有，这太累了。这一般都是那种比较壮的那种中年人去绑，每年都是。哎呀，好接近！
A casualty of the tale.
And that was a beautiful finale to our Spring Festival celebrations in Guangdong. As much as we love living in Hangzhou, when it comes to creatures running around on the streets and people going crazy for the Spring Festival, nowhere can beat Guangdong. And the ridiculously friendly locals are also a bonus. Hope you all enjoyed this little glimpse into the local festivities for Chinese New Year. And I know Chinese New Year ended a couple weeks ago, but it takes a while to edit these videos, okay? And now, time for one last meal in Guangdong before we depart.
This is my favorite thing we've had. Puffed rice with vegetables and beans in this matcha-looking thing. I love it. And just like that, the crowds have dispersed. The event is over. The creatures are shut away in their cage. And they'll be back out next year. Love the ghost swings. And there's a rooster in here for some reason. How can Finally a chance to admire the details up close. Hello.
Say goodbye to Lufeng, everyone. By the time this video has come out, we are already in Xi'an, beginning the next section of our North China bike tour. I can't wait to share it with you guys, and I will see you in the next vlog.